Good evening, judges. This is Team Sudarshan, and this is the submission for the Microsoft Imagine Cup India Semifinals 2023. This is Kshitij Agarwal, and I'm a computer science student passionate about building systems with scale. I'm studying in VIT Bhopal, and I'm currently in my third year. I have skills under backend development, web development, mobile development, and mostly I work under the JavaScript and TypeScript ecosystems. So my most frequently used technologies like Node.js, React.js, and React Native. And surprisingly, we have used all three of them in this project. So you can find me on GitHub with the profile Kshitij1403. You can contact me with the email kshitijagarwal@outlook.com, and my contact number is also given. So my teammate and Pratham, so we met through a common class in campus, and then it proceeded with discussions on DSA and lead code. Yeah, so Pratham will be introducing himself.
Hi, I am Pratham Pawar. I mostly work in the system programming and low-level programming banner. I have skills in compiler development, backend development, and I mostly use Golang and Python. I'm also a very loyal Linux enthusiast and very I'm very enthusiastic about open source software, and I have experience in using and building software for it. There is obviously my GitHub and blog are given below, and my contact information and email are shown on the screen. Our idea comes from the daily routine of going out for jogging, and we obviously noticed the fact that our streets are littered. From a little research about what can we do about it, we came to know about plogging. It's a physical exercise where you collect garbage out from the streets and maybe take responsibility for it. uh, our app allows us to manage and track these adventures and allows us to have monetary benefit for the effort of provided by the person, uh, thereby presenting our app Sudarshan. So it's a feature rich and easy to use application. So we obviously you can set up a route and we can go on that route, and there'll be predetermined locations for these dustbin, and user can put their collected garbage in those dustbins, and this dustbin implementation is 100% offline and consumes very little power, so that it could be economically possible to deploy it on a large scale. And obviously, we can partner with local governments and NGOs to provide monetary benefits along with sponsorships, so that these provide coupons and other benefits to the user for these walks.
Sure.
Now,
So now we can, yeah. So we can see what all target audiences can fit into our model. So of course, we'll generally have an audience who have the physical capability to walk and perform some exercises. But we specially aim to target a specific set of users. So one of them could be fitness enthusiasts. So these geeks would love to contribute to the environment while they focus on their health. So by right marketing, we could acquire these as a first set of customers. The second case can be of NGOs and ecological organizations. So these applications may use our app to conduct walks at large scale. So by configuring our app into a group mode, we can track group data and provide them with additional benefits while they help build the environment a cleaner place. So now personas will be explained by Pratham.
let's assume a few personas who might use our app and how their daily routine might be. The first persona that we have taken is obviously of a student. It's very relatable to us and provides a very good example from our perspective. In this case, he probably has a daily routine for exercise. This includes a daily walk, and comes across our app. He downloads it and he uh, looks around his area and generates a route which is comfortable for him. He starts the route. He collects a few waste material, reaches to a dustbin, and the dustbin has a one-time QR code. He scans it, and the entire system is in place to make sure that he's put in the work. After this few walks, obviously as a student he might need something, and he'll get this monetary benefit. He can avail a coupon, and while we are sponsoring getting sponsored from local brands, we can obviously promote those brands to him. Obviously, because he's roaming around the neighborhood, he's getting to know what is around him and getting to talk with people probably, and generally having good social service. The next person that we can assume of is a virtual working professional, which is very much the next phase of our lives right now. And for this, these working professionals have very little time to improve their lifestyle, and they can either go to a very high-end gym with lots of fitness equipment, or they can do something like this with the help of a moderately expensive gym. And on this, social is a very big aspect of their life. So they may invite their friends on free days, have combined walks. Obviously, these people are also passionate about their country and contributing to the environment. So they can obviously contribute without getting in their busy lifestyle. And they obviously have quite good financial constraints, and they can maintain their health without putting a strain on them. The working will be handled by Satish now.
Yeah. So our app's backend is mainly written in TypeScript ecosystem and it is fueled using Node.js. So of course we are using Express.js as a framework. The app is built on React Native and we are using JavaScript to write that. Some Microsoft services which we are using at the backend level are first is Microsoft email communication for user verification and generating the reset password tokens. The second one is Microsoft Blob Storage to store raw data, mostly profile images. And the third one and most important one is the Microsoft virtual machines. So at the database level, we are using MongoDB. So our React Native obviously communicates with the backend, which is hosted at the Azure's virtual machine. So at the database, we already have set up and hosted our pre-located dustbins, which stores the location, hash ID, and mainly the dustbin IDs. So a system chooses which dustbin the user should be recommended to whenever the user wants to go to from a path from a source to a destination. So in order to reroute the user through that given trash can, we create the path using the Google's direction API. And user may also search for a place and we serve that using the Google's autocomplete API. So of course these APIs are very costly. So in order to prevent any abuse, we are using some sort of rate limiting at the server, and we are using Redis for that. The hardware side is interesting, and it is written in C, and we are using Arduino for that. So we are mainly using a TOTP based mechanism, which is used in Google Authenticator and Microsoft Authenticator. So my friend Pratham will be explaining further about that.
Yeah, so in this hardware, we are mostly working with five or four hardware components. This includes our main microprocessor, which is in this case Arduino Mega. Then there is obviously ultrasonic distance sensor to measure what's the current status of the dimensions of the dustbin. And then we use a OLED screen to actually display the QR. And obviously we need a weight sensor. We are right now targeting around 10 to 20 to a 50 kg weight sensor. This is because it's working on Arduino. We are using Arduino libraries and Arduino IDE for this. A QR code is generated every 30 seconds because the time-based authentication that we are using obviously works on 30-second of time frame. And in this QR code, we are transmitting information like dustbin ID, weight difference, what is the current OTP. And to ensure that this is actually valid, we are actually generated a JWT token, which is the unique OTP. And this JWT token will be signed through this unique OTP, which will be obviously time based. There is a link given here of a simulation so that you don't have to actually get all the hardware and connect all the wires. The simulation also has information on the wiring, exact wiring on which port to connect each wire to, and also has a basic working of the code, including display of the QR and weight changes. On the server side, we are using a dustbin ID to fetch the hash after we scan the QR code. And through this hash, we can obviously generate a OTP and we again verify the signature on the server side. Because we are flashing each module with its unique ID and unique hash, which is a base 32 string. Uh, its memory is read only as is on every Arduino, and its OTP cannot be tampered if a user has want to exploit it. Because this all system is needing without the internet, this ensures offline working of our dustbin module, and thus we eliminate Wi-Fi cost or even a good network cost. The business plan will be explained by Satij.
Yeah, so we can look at the business plan, and we are mainly competing in a healthcare space. So we need to be actually on our toes and present our customers with new features almost regularly. So which also increases the customer acquisition cost. So our major competition are fitness apps, which promises the users fitness and health improvement without actually needing to get out of their homes, as well as gym memberships, which allow users to help improve their health without actually interacting with the environment. So by this project, we are trying to create a new normal where the people can help the environment with just a walk, and we are trying to enforce this as an habit. So we can talk about the business model. The first most important part for us would be to get in touch with the local government and get the initial grants to deploy the dustbins at the neighborhood. The next set of things that we need to do will be to create a network of contractors to keep the dustbins healthy and manage them. Then once we have the network ready, we can start partnering with the local shops as well as local malls to help the user experience while they are on the walks, and which will help them even market their places. We are also planning to promote a local heritage, through which the user will actually be able to know how their community looks like, because most of the youths are actually busy in their devices and they don't know much about their surroundings. So we will be later partnering with medium-sized shops as well as malls who will be sponsoring a dustbin and taking care of the dustbin's health while we tweak the route to promote the shop on the road. And these will be later on given with vouchers as well as cash rewards to the users performing eco walks. Now Pratham will be explaining the cost.
Ignoring the software cost, obviously, we rely on Microsoft Azure services and its monthly cost. Including the hardware cost, is currently costing us around 1,500 to 2,000 rupees to source the off-the-shelf parts. And once we have an initial implementation, we already have an initial implementation. When we are optimized it and maybe made it a more streamlined, we can obviously reduce it using PCB and probably mass production for our hardware modules. Well, some additional information to keep in mind is we aim to keep our project open source because we are tracking the user's location and some critical information. We want to make sure the user knows what information are we tracking. Once our app has a big enough user base, a future aim and objective would be obviously to create communities and allow them to compete. Our own country has such a thing between our cities, and we obviously took inspiration from that to see the working implementation and maybe the experience of the user. Sitij will be taking over.
So I'll be presenting the app. So this screens will be presented once the user first installs the app and opens it. So he'll be provided with some onboarding options. Then later he could either register or log in. And suppose the user has forgotten the password, he can also request a new one. For that, we are using the, of course, Azure's email to send a new password token on the email. So I'll just quickly sign in. So once we are here, we'll be requested a location. We'll grant that. Once the location is loaded, the user will be presented with the map and where is located. We can also change the theme to make it a little easier. Then I can, of course, search a place where I need to go. So let us say this is the place where I need to go, and it will map a route between that place and our source path, and will list out all the other options of trash cans which are available. So here we can see that there are 4 trash cans available. Um, and for every trash can, we generate a new path. So let's assume that I'm going with this trash can. So once I click on start, it will take me to a navigation where I'll be navigating to the given trash can. So for now, I'll exit the navigation and go back to the app. So let us assume that we have already reached. So we can scan the QR code, which will be present at the dustbins. So for now, we are using a mock website. So this will be our website. And here I've scanned the QR code. And now once we have scanned the QR code, the user will be presented with the report screen where he'll be getting all the details like the calories he has burned, the time, and the speed. And once the user has experienced all of this, he can also rate the work. So let us say I'm rating it at about 90%. So yeah, that's done. Now we also have, of course, the profile edit screen where we can add in height, weight, gender, all of that, which is essentially important to calculate the calories. Next is the reward screen where the user will be presented with all the rewards which he has gotten from the sponsorships. as well as the cash rewards. Of course, there's a setting screen and there's a sign out screen. Here user will be able to access all the previous works that they have taken. Now I'll be presenting you with the simulation. So here is a
Yeah, so
visualization. Um, we are using Arduino Mega. We have sensors like ultrasonic sensor, a weight sensor, as well as a OLED display, where we'll be expecting a QR code that is generated at the dustbin level. We obviously have the hash as well as dustbin ID unique to every dustbin. To ease the process, we are using a mock website to generate a dummy QR code, which will function exactly like how a normal dustbin would. So yeah, that will be from our side. Thank you so much for listening.
thank you. Bye.